Greetings, my friends. Reformed Stoic here, just checking up on you. I got 3 quick tips, major keys to happiness. So this should be pretty simple here. But, maybe mentioning all 3 of these things together might help somebody. Maybe this is something that you haven't thought about. So let's get right down to it. I don't imagine this video is going to be too long. So, number 1. We'll start with the most simple. Not caring what other people think. Now, all I really have to say about this, because it's been said a million times, is I'm someone who has had a lot of conflict at this point with people, and the process has kind of helped me not to care what other people think. Because what it comes down to for me is like, okay, so you don't like me, or you don't like what I'm about, so what are you going to do about it? Most of you listening, chances are, it's nothing. Okay? Now, we're pretty late game at this point. We're pretty far into the world, so I'm not going to make assumptions about you. You might have people that might do something about it, people who might kick your door in, or smash your window, and jump through your window, and try to kill you. Okay? That's the way I think about it. It's like, if it's just really that somebody doesn't like you, especially if it's somebody you're never going to see, I guess there's kind of like levels to it. Like, is this person going to like invade your home and try to kill you? Then maybe you have a reason to be worried about it. Is this somebody who's not going to do that, but you might see them in public and they might be aggressive in public? I mean, will they do something to you if you run into them in public? Or is it somebody who you could run into in public and then, they're just going to, like, make a face at you or something, or be passive-aggressive? So, being somebody who's had the kind of opponents who, like, want to escalate things with me, not to the stage where people smash my window in and try to kill me. Just a little knock on wood there real quick. But, yeah, man, like, especially if it's somebody on the internet who you're never gonna see, it's really silly to waste your time thinking about it. If it is somebody that, like, you live in a small town and you could potentially run into them, first of all, I'm finding, surprisingly, I really just don't tend to run into people, even in a small town. But, my town here is like 15, 20,000, something like that. So, but, if you do run into those people, you just mind your own business. Unless they're like an absolute criminal, they're probably not going to do anything, man. So I just really think, is this person going to like do anything? Is this person going to like go out of their way to try to harm me? If not, even when they're doing their little petty like stalking shit, like walking by you and making faces at you and trying to get in your space and make you uncomfortable, you just phase it out, bro. You just forget about it. It's not doing anything to you. It's psychological. It only does something to you if you let it. So, I don't think we need to waste any more time on that. Very simple. We are definitely in line for actually a short video here. Okay, number 2. Being okay with being alone. So, what I wanted to say about this was just thinking back to my childhood. I was so damn content, and sometimes I just wish that I appreciated how happy and how content I was as a child. But it got me thinking, it got me contemplating on how you just don't know suffering yet when you're a kid. You don't know suffering yet. You don't have anything to compare your happiness to. But once you're a freaking 30-plus-year-old man, you're just like, oh my gosh, I was free. I had no responsibilities. I had no trauma yet. Even if like something screwed up had already happened, I couldn't really like process that it was a big deal yet. And man, just I had a little bedroom with no door on it, and it didn't bother me. I had my TV on a lot of times in the background. I had like stuffed animals and toys, action figures. I feel like the kids today, probably even Zoomers, like, did you guys ever even play with action figures? I had freaking action figures, dude, and the goal is to get like a big tote full of action figures, and then you just mix it up, dude. You got Power Rangers and G.I. Joes and Army Men, and then like, I don't know, the Power Rangers are bigger and the Army Men are bigger, and they can be like demigods or commanders that command all the little green Army Men. Then I had a little cannon that I flipped marbles out of, and I'd have like Nickelodeon going in the background. And I was really happy with not that much, you know? Like, I had a friend who always just kind of had more than me. There was even a time when he like wrote me an email, and my dad read it to me about, he was like rubbing it in my face that his mom bought him so many more video games than me, and even like M-DOS games. Like, I'd have Monster Bash, and then his mom would get him Monster Bash 2 and Monster Bash 3. I had Word Rescue. He'd have Word Rescue 2, Word Rescue 3. I had a few systems. I didn't get my first system till I was like 8 or 9, I think. Maybe like 7. I can't remember when I got that regular Nintendo, but he had like every system. I didn't. At one point, you had to pay for Cartoon Network, so I didn't have Cartoon Network. I just had Nickelodeon. Eventually, Cartoon Network just became a part of the package. Or my parents got the nicer cable, whatever. But I always just kind of had less stuff than this guy. But it really didn't bother me that much. I was not wired to be as much of a gamer as he was. When I would visit him, I would kind of just like sit and watch him play games. And his mom would always be like, why don't you let Jake play? Why don't you let Jake play? And I'd be like, no, it's fine. I just want to watch. I was just kind of like mesmerized by the game. And I guess you could say I was more of like a movie watcher, TV watcher, or imagination guy than I was video games. But I definitely got more into video games as time went on. But the point is I just think back to how I was as a child, and I feel like my life has kind of like gone in this big, epic circle where, you know, obviously you don't take this too far. I'm much more developed than I was when I was a child. Obviously, you don't know jack shiz when you're a kid, so you don't take it too far. You're not trying to like forget how to walk and be a baby and poo your diapers, but that kind of contentment that I have a very sharp memory, so I feel like I can just really tap into that. And I didn't really have a lot of friends when I was a kid. I wasn't like weird or isolated, at least I don't think so. You know, there was a few friends that I had through like my parents' friends, their kids. You know, I didn't really get made fun of anything when we're talking like when I'm under 10. I'm just talking like early childhood. Basically, you know, up till like 4, 5, 6th grade. I remember when you get in the 4th grade, there's this like meeting in the gym for 4th graders up to the 6th graders, or really for like the 4th graders. They have this like initiation for the 4th graders. You're big kids now. You have bigger responsibilities. You're still obviously a little kid, like all through elementary school and middle school, let's be real, but I think these happy-go-lucky, easy memories probably extend till like 4th grade for the most part. I started having a lot of overnights in like 3rd, 4th, 5th grade. But yeah, you know, I had some friends. It's not like I was completely isolated and weird, but it's before you like girls, and just television, some video games, some action figures. So as an adult, okay, trying to bring this back to reality. And then as far as like my life going in a circle, I was raised as a Catholic, and then I went on a huge perennial quest that circled all the way back to the Catholic Church eventually. And I kind of started out not really having any friends and being self-content, and now I'm going back to not having a lot of friends and being self-content. It all kind of just makes sense to me. But you know, so when you were a kid, you had your action figures. What are your adult action figures? Do you want to carve things out of wood? Do you want to like do breathing exercises on the beach, go on hikes? Maybe you still like video games. You know, I'm the kind of guy, there's a lot of intellectual people like Jay Dyer who try to make you feel bad if you like football. There's absolutely nothing wrong with liking football or any sport, you know? It's like, I guess the idea is that there's people who just like work their jobs and then come home and watch football and movies and consume, and they never read or study or anything. But, you know, build yourself up, build your inner temple, do things that are productive. But if you like sports, watch sports. It's very common today for people to be like, I don't like sports, but I like UFC. It's a sport, bro. And by the way, I like MMA and all that, but and then video games. There's nothing wrong with liking video games either. So just, you know, figure out what your adult toys are. Figure out how to get back to that childhood contentment. As far as being okay alone, I don't know if you had a super social childhood, but I didn't. And I didn't even really recognize that there was anything wrong with it. Ultimately, you've learned that it's bad to be alone from years and years and years and years of social shaming, and it's not based off of wisdom. It's not based off of truth. It's based off of sin. It's based off of hedonism. Like, ha ha ha, I fornicate with all the women. I'm a complete wreck of a man. And I don't know what your guys' experience is, but like the guys who were major fornicators here when I was in high school, none of them were married, dude. That doesn't mean like if you did good with women you didn't get married. I'm just talking about the guys who like partied hard and just lined them up. It breaks something inside of you, and a lot of people aren't going to be able to process that with where they're at right now. It's really hammered in your head, man. Society has taught you to think that way. So again, not rocket science. Just be okay being alone. Okay, so the last one, number 3. This is probably like the most unique. Both of those were just kind of my perspectives on really basic advice. So to review, we have don't care what other people think, be okay being alone, and now, lastly, shut negativity out. Shut negative people out. Use the block button. Block people. Don't argue, but it all just follows under the category of shutting people out. Now, as far as debates go, it's like, well, I want to debate my ideas. I want to stand up for what I believe in. On my channel, there's a big difference between somebody questioning my beliefs and people attacking me, okay? I've been dealing with trolls and a couple of troll farms for a long time. I got people coming on here insulting me. So the way I do things is when I look through my notifications, I'll read like the first 5 words, you know. I've done a lot of reading in my life. I kind of just start skimming over their comment. And if it starts out negative, you know, it might be some big paragraph. It's like, oh, look at this doofus idiot who like thinks he can teach people. Deleted, blocked, you're gone. That's it. Not reading the entire comment. Never going to hear from you again. And then, you know, maybe they'll come back on an alt. Oh, dude, you don't even read my comment. Gone, deleted, blocked. You don't get to talk to me. And so you might think like, oh, like, what are you against free speech? Or, oh, censorship? Or, oh, I thought you were a philosopher. And big difference between people insulting you and discussing your ideas. So if somebody comes to my comment section, and you don't have to, like, when I say respectfully, you don't have to kiss my ass or try to be nice. You just get straight to business, okay? You just get straight to business. If you want to insult me, do it at the end of your point, okay? Just a pro tip, trying to give you some help. If you want to call me a couple of names at the end of your argument, by that point I will probably have read your comment, and you will probably have earned a response if it's a good argument. So if you're just challenging my beliefs or offering some of your beliefs, I will not automatically delete your comments, okay? But that's because I have a platform and I have a reputation to protect, and I want people to see that I'm willing to defend my beliefs. I enjoy defending my beliefs, and I'm not worried about it at all. Absolutely go for it. But there's a lot of trolls around here, so that's how I handle it, man. Like, just immediately blocked. And what you gotta think is, like, these people who are attacking you, insulting you, it's a little bit dramatic to say that they're your enemies, Okay, that sounds like kind of emotional, but they're not your friends. They have bad intentions toward you. So somebody who's like, ideally what you're trying to do is be negative back. And when you don't think too deeply on it, you give them a response. They type up some big attack, so you type up some big response, and in your mind, you're meeting their negativity with negativity. But what happens is you don't even read their attack, and then you block them, because what they really want is to get into your head. What they want to do is talk to you. They want your attention. They want you reading their thoughts. They want to have a back and forth with you. So why would you give them what they want? Why would you give your enemy what they want? What they don't want is for you to take away their voice. And at the end of the day, for me, it's my YouTube channel, and that's what I do, man. So in my chat, as soon as somebody starts being negative, you're gone. And you can come back on another account, but then that account's going to be gone. I'm getting to the point where I don't read the comments out loud. You just completely shut out the negativity on Facebook. Even if it's somebody that's like not talking to you or you're not talking to them. I'm in this local politics group, and this guy just had the most absolute insufferable opinions, and he makes like multiple posts a day, and I've been really tempted to chime in. Banned, gone, never see anything he'll ever say ever again. Wow, that's so much better. Unfollow people on Facebook. Maybe you don't even want to have a Facebook. Frankly, I like groups on Facebook. I've joined like a Cocktail Twins group, the Cure group, 90s nostalgia, 80s nostalgia, 80s games. There's this really cool like punk, hardcore, emo group I'm in. I just go look for a crap ton of groups, dude. Like as many as you can possibly think of. And then your Facebook feed is like kind of cool, you know? And I kind of just unfollow. I don't want to be dramatic and unfriend everybody, so I kind of just unfollow everybody who has crappy statuses. At some point, I'll probably phase out everything from my hometown and then just try to avoid posting anything on my wall. I found a habit that's not too bad is to just post a song that I like. I'll just maybe every couple of days post a song that I like with not much of a description, if anything. And then, you know, if somebody goes to my Facebook, then they kind of just see this trail of music that I leave behind that I like. So that's pretty much it, guys. Those are the 3 major keys to happiness. Those are 3 major keys. They're not the major keys. But I think that particular advice grouped together, don't worry about what people think. It doesn't matter. Be happy being alone. You don't need other people. You don't need entertainment. Other people are like a bonus, you know? If you meet somebody who you want to hang out with, great, then hang out with them. If you meet a girl who you want to spend the rest of your life with, great, then do that. According to God, the only sex you're supposed to have is in a marriage where you're open to having kids, which means you don't use protection and you don't pull out or anything like that. So I know people have trouble accepting that, but I do believe that's the reality. And in terms of natural law, like the function of sex is to produce children, and it feels good because it's an important function. Like if it didn't, then maybe humanity wouldn't have made it this far. So that's the thing about Thomas Aquinas, is he really integrated natural law with the holy law. And so you start to get to a point where like the Catholic Church has really integrated the natural law into their teachings. So in terms of sex, what's the purpose of it? The idea is that this is God's creation, and when you use something for other than its purpose, it's wrong, therefore sinful. So, I mean, everybody out here is MGTOW anymore, right? Or you've heard all these MGTOW arguments. You've seen like Better Bachelor videos where he rags on how horrible so many modern women are. Well, do you want to spend the rest of your life with this girl and have sex that might very likely lead to children? No? Then don't worry about it. If you find a girl out there who's like that, then great. All I really got right now for dating advice is you want to completely weed out neediness. You don't want to seem desperate. You don't have that look in your eyes like, please talk to me. Oh, you're so beautiful. I want to touch your hand. Can I smell you? Like, you just want to seem like you're happy, being content alone, not worrying about what other people think, just phasing out negativity. When somebody comes up on your Facebook feed like, hey, I saw what you're saying, and based off of your other statuses, you're just gone. Just gone, bro. You know, you see how much drama I've gotten in because of arguments that I was in? I was in an argument with one of my old native friends when I went on a rant about Alaskan natives. That got me in a lot of trouble, man. You know how I would handle that now? He pops up in my comments, hey man, I noticed that you're mentally ill. Wow, you should get off the... Blocked, gone, ignored, no response. You have any idea how much trouble that would have saved me? That's it, guys. So you just phase out negativity. You don't need anybody to be happy. And who cares what anybody thinks? So, you know, it's not rocket science. Hopefully this was at least fun to listen to if you didn't really learn anything. But I don't know. I think that those perspectives on those 3 particular pieces of advice put next to each other under the title of 3 keys to happiness, 3 major keys to happiness. I think it works. I think it's good advice. So God bless you, my friends. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Form Stoic out. God bless.